Yo guys, how's it going? Back with another market watch list for the week. So I'm just going to keep it short and simple today, cover the DXY and then 4 or 5 other pairs. So with the DXY, we thought we were seeing a push to the downside. However, we seem to stall at this support and resistance band. And then thanks to good data from the US dollar on Friday, we saw this nice bullish engulfing candle. So at the moment, the DXY looks like it's going to head up to 98.0, which would mean it's going to make a new high. However, we do have this support and resistance band again. So it's kind of in the middle of, it's in no man's land at the moment. So with most US dollar pairs, it's quite the same. So for these this week, I'm just going to wait on the sidelines to see if this was just a momentary thing, because obviously we still have the China trade talk deals going on, which could send the markets anyway when it goes into phase 2. So it would just be interesting to see if we do make a higher high here, come back for a retrace of this support and resistance area, and then go higher, or if this was just some sort of a fake out above the daily 50. However, with how convincing that close is above the daily 50, I do expect it to go and make another high and then come back for a retest. So as I mentioned in my video on Instagram the other day with the DXY, you can use this to forecast various other US pairs, and I'll show you how, with this being in no man's land, it also is the same on Aussie USD. So just jumping into Aussie USD, as you can see, we are still long term looking at in this corrective channel after this very strong bearish push around July last year. And as you can see, we went for a second touch here, and it looks like we may potentially come down for a third touch. And it did look like with the support and resistance area and a nice bullish engulfing around the 9th of Jan, we were going to head up maybe for a third touch of this structure, weekly institutional level. But as you could see, similar with the DXY, we then stalled around this level and a nice bullish engulfing close again below the daily 50, which technically has made a lower high. And also, if you look at it, a head and shoulders pattern, so you've got the left shoulder here, head, and right shoulder here, which is a reversal sign. But then if we just go down to the 4 hour, you can see we've got this strong support and resistance level again, and it also matches the 61.8% fib on the daily fib. So it'd be interesting to see if we do get a form of a double bottom here. However, with the convincing close that they both have had around the daily 50, it does look like further downside. But we've just got to sit on our hands again. So what I'll just be waiting for this pair is what looks like a break and retest of this neckline of this head and shoulders. So a break and then a retest of here, or even of this ascending trend line if we do get a third touch, and then make our way down to the bottom of this correction at 6,700. Like I said on the previous pairs, guys, just want to sit on your hands with the US dollar pairs. You don't want to be going into anything that you don't need to, risking capital. There's just no point. So moving on to CAD Yen, and this is quite a basic setup, as basic as they come. As you can see, we're pushing higher and higher into this outer structure here, where price was around April last year. And we're moving very slowly towards the top. Price looks overextended and looking like in terms of coming for a bit of a pullback to maybe get a further long position. So I've marked out here on the long-term fib taken from the last clear low to this recent swing high, where it looks like price is going to reverse and come on a bit of a retracement. As you can see, we haven't had a solid retracement since October last year, and I've just marked out a potential area of interest. So support and resistance area here, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 touches along here, and it also lines up with this long-term daily ascending trend line, the daily 50, 38.2 fib level, which, as you all know by now if you watch my videos frequently, is quite a reliable level after a strong push to the upside. And it has multiple confluences, ascending trend line, support and resistance area, and also daily 50 and 38.2. This could be a trade that is ready for this week, as it is only around 130 pips away or 100 pips from this area of interest. But what you guys might want to look for is some form of selling the retracement. There's nothing wrong with that if you have a high quality setup. So yeah, if we just go on to the time frames, as you can see, when we've rejected this level around 84.50 with these wicks to the upside, a few dojis. If you guys did want to sell the retracement, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you accept that there is a potential risk that we are still in a bullish trend, so it will be a counter trend trade. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So what I'd say for you guys to look for is we've had this break of this daily 50, of this hourly 50. Wait for a retest, or if not, if you want to be safer, potentially wait for a break and retest at the 4-hour 50 and sell it down into this area of interest that you can see here. But if you're sticking to trade in the trend, then you wait for this retracement into this area, wait for price action to react, and then execute your position. USD CAD is another interesting one because, as I mentioned with the DXY, we're in an area of no man's land. There's two very high probability trade setups here within only 50 pips of each other. So as you can see here, we rejected the 61.8% fib level and the 1.3100 psychological level and key level before. However, we have then been quite corrected with price action. So if the DXY does gain a bit of strength and the US dollar does gain a bit of strength and go on to make that higher high, we might see this pair push up to the 78.6 fib level, which is also the highest area of probability of a reversal. This support and resistance area and the daily 50. So it'll be quite interesting to see that push up, as it is only 70, 80 pips away, which means we'd make a higher high on the DXY, and then with the retracement back down, this could be a nice little short-term trade. And I won't be looking to take this pair long until we break above the daily 50, negate this bearish fib by closing above the 78.6, and then break this swing high here. If that does happen, if the DXY does gain the strength that is possible, then we would like to see a clear break of this swing high, come to retracement on the daily 50 and this potential support and resistance area, and then take it long up until these highs here. I don't tend to trade the pound pairs. However, this setup on euro pound is quite an interesting one because it's away from the usual fibs that I just tend to use, fibs and market structure. This is just purely a market structure trade. So as you can see, price has been quite corrective over the past few weeks and not really had any direction really of where it's going to go. However, what we could see for a nice short-term trade here is we can see prices getting squeezed and we're making these higher lows, but we're just making subtle higher highs. We've seen a nice clean rejection off this level, and potentially a third touch of this structure here lines up with the key monthly level. You could just class this trade as selling the range. So if we do see a nice third touch here and rejection off the monthly level, then could sell it back to these lows, which again is another 100 pips, just a nice little intraday trade. I'm just trying to vary the setups that I put on here so they cater for everybody. Then finally, guys, for this week's market watch list, just having a quick look at pound yen. As you can see, after the election, we had this nice rejection here of the 147, nearly 148 level, and we've come back down and price has started to normalise again and find its direction. And we are still clearly in a bullish trend here, and I've taken a fib from this low here to this high. And again, after such a strong impulse, 38.2 is a really reliable level. You've got support and resistance as well here, which has been touched 1, 2, 3 times. Then also the daily 50 and what could be the third touch of this ascending trend line. Again, as I mentioned with CAD yen, you could sell the retracement. With pound pairs, be very careful, as with any Brexit news, it can really send this pair flying either way. But always, guys, remember, please do be careful with this pair, as, for fuck's sake, I need to just mute that chat. You just got to be careful on pound yen, to be honest with you guys, as with any Brexit news, it can send this pair either way a few hundred pips. But also, if there's any negative Brexit news in terms of poor trading potential deals with the EU, then this could send this pair flying down, just because the yen is a safe haven. So whenever there tends to be economic turmoil or world turmoil, as we saw with the US and Iran, the yen does gain quite a bit of strength. But no, this is a clean, solid technical setup. If it does come to it, we might even just bounce off the daily 50. However, this is where there are multiple confluences rather than just one. And guys, whenever trades do meet your area of interest, the thing that I've preached about a lot is, and something that I've worked on a lot, is faultlessly executing, because then it comes to it, if your trade does go your way, and then it's worse when you find yourself going, oh well, I had that set up but I didn't take it. So that's a wrap on this week's market watch list. Just wanted to keep it short and sweet, as no one wants to be sitting there for 10-15 minutes looking at charts. They just want a few setups. I varied it a bit with some basic fib and market structure long-term moves, then also some intraday moves with CAD yen in terms of selling the retracement, then also euro pound, a nice little clean structure trade if it does come true. So thank you very much for watching.